Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teacher David Njoroge, and today I want us to learn about the structure and function of the heart. To begin with, we know that the heart is the system that pumps the blood in our bodies, and this is how your heart looks like, yours and mine. As you can see, we have arrows that are indicating the blood flow in and out, and these arrows are red and blue, with oxygenated blood being marked by red, deoxygenated blood being marked by blue. As we can see, we have different veins and arteries, and we can also see, as from our observation, that there are parts that are thicker than the others. These are the ventricles. The part of the ventricles is much thicker than the part of the auricles. And again, from observation, we can see that we also have some valves. These are valves here, and they all have names, like the bicuspid valves. You can see the semilunar valves here near the aorta. And we also have the tricuspid valves here near between the right atrium and the right ventricle. We have the pulmonary artery here, the vena cava, the pulmonary vein carrying oxygenated blood, and the aorta here. So basically, this is the human heart and how it looks like. And we know that the heart is located in the thoracic cavity. This is your chest area, and it's enclosed by inside the pericardium. The pericardium is like a sac, and this sac holds your heart inside, as in it anchors it in such a way that your heart is not going to move throughout the thoracic cavity. When you bend over, when you jump, it remains at the same position. And inside the pericardium, there is a fluid inside there, because you know very well that the heart does not stop beating. And for this reason, there is a lot of friction that could ensue from that action of beating. So that fluid that is contained in the pericardium is called the pericardial fluid, and it helps to reduce the friction and also to absorb the shock. Also, we know that the mammalian heart consists of muscles, and these muscles, they are called the cardiac muscles. The heart has got 4 chambers, 2 auricles or the atria, and 2 ventricles. The auricles, they have thin muscular walls, as we saw, as I was explaining from the diagram. The right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from all body organs except the lungs through the vena cava. Why? Because we know that in the lungs, that is where blood is oxygenated. So there is no way the lungs can bring to the heart deoxygenated blood. And also, the left auricle receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through the pulmonary vein. Note the difference. We have the pulmonary vein bringing in oxygenated blood, and we have the vena cava bringing in deoxygenated blood. The ventricles, if you can remember, they have muscular walls, thick ones, thicker than the auricles. Why do you think this? It's because the ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to all parts of the body except the lungs through the aorta. So, for it to pump blood away from the heart to that greater distance, it must have more muscles. Okay? The right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs through the pulmonary artery, and its walls are thinner than those of the left ventricle. That distance is short, so that's why it's less thicker. We also have valves inside the heart, and they are located between the atria and corresponding ventricle. From our diagram, we saw that, and they ensure that blood flows only in one direction. This is from the auricles. You know, the auricles are on the upper side, and then to the ventricles. Then during the ventricular contractions, the tendinous cords, there are cords there. They are also called the heartstrings. They prevent the valves from movement by holding the flaps tightly against the strong blood flow. Because if they were not tight enough, that means that blood would go back to where it came from. Okay? And then we have the atrioventricular septum. What is a septum? A septum is like a wall. Okay? And normally it's found in the middle portion of the cardiac wall that divides the heart into left and right sides. And it prevents the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Otherwise, how could the blood be mixed? You know, there would be some confusion somewhere, and the systems would not work properly. Because we know very well that oxygen is needed for respiration, and without enough oxygen, what would happen? The cells would not function. It affects the double circulation as it ensures that the right side of the heart pumps blood to the lungs, while the left side pumps blood to the rest of the body. So that one is what makes it possible for us to have a double circulation. Thank you for watching. Welcome again to our other lesson. Until then, goodbye.